Hey there, and thanks for joining. What you're about to see is a behind the scenes interview with the K Collective, the production company that I hired to work on the True Gold music video. This is with Dom and Britt, and they did everything from planning location, coming up with concept for the video, shooting, directing, all of that. Very wonderful people, very talented people, and I'm very excited for this interview. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to support me, you can like, comment, subscribe on the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I will also link to the music video in the description below, along with any relevant information. So enjoy and talk soon. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Elias. Tonight I have, for my very own first interview, I have Dom and Britt from K Collective. Tonight we're going to be talking about True Gold and the music video they filmed for me this past summer in Toronto, and the process around that and all that. So let me just give a brief introduction of how I found you guys, and then we can talk about your impressions and everything like that. So so actually, I don't know if you guys know Akeem O. He's a musician here. Well, he lives in Toronto now. Actually, I was looking to start up my music project again, and he mentioned you guys. He said he'd been in your music video for Pony Girl. I don't remember the name of the song.
It's Running in Circles.
Balloons, Laugh It Off.
Running in Circles is the one.
Okay, Running in Circles, and he showed me your stuff, and I was really impressed. And that's how I reached out to you guys. That must have been last. I want to say it was like last March, maybe last April. So True Gold is like the first hit that I wanted to release, and I wanted a full length video for it. And that's it was really important for me to sort of put my best foot forward. I'd been out of the game for a while, and I wanted to hit the ground running with music again. And I came to you guys for exactly that reason. So enough about me, really. You guys, tell me a little bit about yourselves, your backgrounds, how you got started in production and all that, and like what inspired you and all that. Maybe we start with Dom.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't realize we were going so far back.
Go back as far as you want.
Okay, well, I'll give you the short version. I've always been into video. I got into it in high school, but all of us have sort of like taken a backroads approach to getting into the industry. I did a business degree, and during the business degree, I did an unpaid internship at a production company in Ottawa at the time. I liked it, and I just kind of stuck with it and never left. So here we are. In 2017, Britt, myself, and another partner of ours founded K Collective. Since then, it's really become like our place for doing the things we love. And for me, that means music videos. I actually did a count recently, and I've done about 40, maybe a bit more since we started K Collective, which is a lot in a year, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah. But we've had the pleasure of making several of those videos Elias's, which has been sweet. So, I mean, we can get more into the video, but that's my quick intro.
Awesome. Britt?
Yeah, I guess if we're going way back, similar to Dom, I was a drama nerd in high school. I did a lot of theater and video production and photography. And then, like everyone else on our team at Cloud and Sky K Collective, in college, I was like, I'm not going to do anything in, video production. So I took graphic design, and then I ended up just going full tilt into video production after I graduated anyway. So here we are. Dom and I were kind of like business partners first and then friends after starting K Collective. And I'm navigating more into the film side of the industry. So doing short films, narrative work, that kind of thing. And helping Dom with music videos. Music videos are always so much fun.
Yeah, so Dom was more, it was funny seeing your roles evolve on I don't know if it's always this way, but on True Gold and the other videos that we did, you guys were both sort of on the brainstorming part at the outset. I think you both came forward with ideas. Um, Britt, I think you had True Gold, or no, you had the Comet, and Dom had True Gold. Um, but then it kind of took a shift because Dom took on more of like the technical stuff of like filming, and then you were more directing. Is it always like that, or does it vary depending on the project?
Usually. I think I scare Dom when I take over the camera, if I'm
That is
being
actually
honest.
accurate. She does scare me when she takes over the camera. I find most of the time, like Britt's really good at concepts, and she's basically a director by nature. Like that's just how she operates. So more often than not, even if like I've come up with a concept, if we're on set together, she's doing more of the directing than I am. Also, because if we're on set together, I'm so focused on the technical aspects of things that I often forget about directing, and it's like so it's we complement each other nicely that way because she's really thinking about like what is this
Yeah.
concept and like how is it being executed, and I'm just thinking about like does it look okay, is it going to edit later,
Yeah.
like and like is my light in the shot, you know?
Yeah, we kind of work like without realizing it sometimes. What I'm paying attention to is different than what you're paying attention to. And then we kind of come in the middle to look at things together. I don't know. It just flows, I guess.
It really flowed. Honestly, like Dom was so locked in on the camera and the lighting and everything, and I can't imagine having to then direct on top of that. So like having you there, Britt, to sort of loosen up the actors, give notes and all that, it was seamless. Actually, I was really impressed. uh, yeah, and yeah, it was you guys were really good. I gotta say, both of you were really good about putting me at ease, putting everyone at ease. I just noticed how fun it was and how fluid.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think
Yeah,
we never really want to go, especially into music videos, like they should be kind of fun. And obviously
right.
things change depending on scale of budget and it can be stressful, but you're there to make something cool and have a good time. And it's fun hanging out with artists. Like you were very easy to work with. So kudos to
Oh,
you for that.
thank you. I try. Yeah, so actually, I thought this was an interesting question. Maybe not. Maybe for you, this is like, okay, I've heard this before. But I feel like when it comes to short form, especially like music videos, we don't get a lot of insight into people's inspirations. Like, are there directors out there that inspire you in music video
Oh yeah.
shoots or
Oh
anything like
yes,
that?
absolutely. So
Yeah.
the like that, I have a two-part answer to that question. Anything that we do, whether it's a music video, a commercial, short film, like whatever, we're always pulling from other existing pieces that we like when we're pitching it or when we're concept dev. Like, and especially it helps with music videos when we're talking to you, the artist, to be like, this is what we have in mind. It's going to look kind of like this, right? So we can put something before you that's like we want to try things that are like this and things that are like this. When it comes to actual like people who made music videos, I have like a list of some directors that are like my all-time favorites, that kind of started the music videos and now are doing feature films. So yeah,
Oh,
there's
cool.
it's it's very cool, and I love music videos also for that reason because this is where you see everybody in the street kind of playing the most because you can't do weird shit on a commercial, like not usually anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. That makes sense. That's interesting. Yeah. Cool. I love that. uh, Britt, any from you? Any directors in particular that inspire
Not
you?
directors for music videos. I don't know. I feel like there's probably so many that I do admire that have done music videos and I'm just not aware of. Like that's
Yeah.
usually Dom comes in with those visual references and those comparables and will send me so many links to watch for music videos and then it gets me excited. I I don't know. I just have I'm not as focused on it I guess as him.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that you guys really are just you have different roles to play and it works really well. That's cool. Um, I guess, I mean, maybe you haven't answered this, but in relation to True Gold, was there like a specific thing that inspired you from like a past project or a favorite project of yours or a favorite project of your own or someone else's that you brought to True Gold that maybe I don't know about or that maybe you can remember?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna like pull up my old proposal while I think about this. True Gold. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like start from like True Gold is an interesting project for us because for you, the artist, this is your debut to the public. Or I mean, not that you haven't been around, but as we sort of talked about when we were talking about the project, this was how you're going to reintroduce yourself because you've been performing under a different name and now you're doing your actual real name, real human name. This was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
us. We need to show people who we are. So when we talked about it, I know you wanted this, but we wanted it too. Was to make it very much performance based, and we don't always pitch a performance based music video, but it's always like, in my opinion, the right choice to do when you're introducing a new artist because people need to
Hmm.
know who that person is and they need to resonate with that. So there were a few videos that I sort of had in mind kicking around when we were talking about performance stuff. But I think I had just started by talking to you about what the song was about and where some of the inspiration was, and just to get a feel for like where your head was at and where we could go. And I think we had just sort of settled on like the idea is it's about art and it's about creativity in a sense. So I think one of
Yeah.
the first videos that popped into my head was there's a video from Darwin Dees from like 10, 11 years ago where they've sat him in a studio and they use money, like physical money, but it's a little clip to a stand, like way really close to the camera, and then he's behind, so it looks like he's part of the money, and that sort of became like the genesis of the whole thing. Is like, how can we integrate Elias Cooper into other types of works and other types of environments? How do we insinuate art into this piece? How do we let that theme run?
I love that. I remember that video. Yeah, I that video was super cool, and I love how they play with depth perception and um, yeah, what a cool genesis for the True Gold video. Um, do you guys were actually jumping a little bit back in time? Do you guys remember your first impressions of me, and then of like the project? What your thoughts were? Um, did that have any implications for how you? I mean, I guess you just said yeah, like it was the debut. You wanted to put me forward performance wise, but I guess just from like an interpersonal uh, interaction, or just about like me as a new artist, like you didn't know who I was. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think, well, for me anyway, I can't speak for Dom. There are a lot of factors when we kind of take on these smaller projects, because usually with smaller projects, it means smaller budgets. So,
Yeah.
uh, when you reached out and we had that initial meeting, you were so excited and your energy was really pleasant and positive. And I really liked that you came into the meeting with some of your own ideas that kind of inspired, like Dom said, the themes and the direction of where we went with the music videos. But you were also easy enough that, like, I'm open to anything, please pitch anything. And you were open to creative suggestions and ideas. And that's kind of the collaboration I really look for, is how can we merge together ideas easily, or am I just like gonna push buttons for someone pretty much?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me it was like I'd never done anything like this before, and if I'm gonna work with a team like you guys, I want to use your creative capacities, right? You're doing these creative projects because you love it, not because someone's just giving you a bill to do the push the buttons like you said. So yeah, for me it was like obvious that I would always use your input and your ideas, and but I definitely, for me it was always I needed to come for somewhat prepared. Like I need to have some ideas going of what I want. Um, I do remember the first call. I think it was with you, Dom, where I think you were a little bit unsure because, like Britt said, not art, artists a lot of times don't have a lot of budget, and I don't think I had set a budget at that point. So I think you were like you need to figure that
Yeah,
out
that's what I
first.
was gonna say. Actually, my first impression of you when we actually got going was, wow, this guy's serious. Because initially we had a call, and you just said, I don't know how much this costs. I know what I want to do, but I don't really know how I'm going to do it. And to me, that always means there's no money. Like whenever I hear that from any potential client, it means we don't know what we're spending. We don't have the money to do it. And then it was like we didn't talk for like 2 months. You were like, okay, I gave you sort of a breakdown, like this is sort of how it works. And you came back to me 2 months later and you were like, here's a plan of how I want to do it, and here's my budget. And it was not an unreasonable budget at all. And I was shocked because I thought for sure that you were just going to be let's just say a flake. So yeah, no, it was a very pleasant surprise. And then yeah, like Britt said, I think it was really nice getting into those first meetings and seeing that you were open to ideas, but also you had some ideas of your own. And even if I look back at the documents we were sending back and forth as we were planning things, there was quite a lot of feedback on both sides, and that helps a lot, right? Because
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we give you something that works well for you, but you gave us enough freedom to actually try things, and that's really important for us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important for me. Uh, so you guys talked a little bit about the inspiration, and I want to dive in a little bit deeper on that. Maybe some more specifics of like how did you? Yeah. So True Gold talked about art, incorporating art, and as I've been sort of telling people, it's about this like struggle to achieve perfection in your art. For me personally, I think it's like a bit of a futile exercise. It's a little bit of vain, but that's why it is such a struggle. And it's kind of something we can't get away from, right? That's what makes art, and that's why we want to do it a lot of times. Is we have this idea in our head of something great we want to accomplish. Um, how did you go about coming up with the different concepts? Like we have the picture frame with the AI, we have the body paint with the painting, then we have sort of the cavernous space that I'm in where I'm performing. There's the Abozo gallery. How did you come to each of these decisions? Were the inspirations, or yeah, just open the floor to that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult question to answer because I don't know exactly how my thought process worked when we were brainstorming this thing. But I can tell you that there were a few things that sort of like were popping up at the time for me that sort of resonated when I listened to the track. And as you were sort of hinting at, AI was a big part of this concept for me, and it was a big part because number one, it's new, um, relatively, and number two, we just haven't had a chance to try it yet. So this was really our first foray into just seeing what was possible. So the specific idea of the picture frame that you'll see in the video, that actually came because I figured it would be the the least technically complex thing to run through an AI. I figured if we have him in
Yeah.
one place with a picture frame around him, that seems like it's not going to be too crazy. Like I think, and I didn't know because I hadn't really tested it, but I thought, this is
Yeah.
probably going to work. And then once we had shot the video, then I was able to sort of experiment more. So that was a big part of it for sure. And then the other thing is honestly like the theme of art and like shooting in an art gallery just sort of comes with that. So that's where shooting in a Bozo gallery came from. It's like it would be really nice to do this in an art gallery and then have a few other locations. Um, but this concept really was sort of built with the idea of having a little bit of play on set in mind. So we didn't do like, in comparison to some of the other things we did together, we didn't do as extensive of a pre-production process. It was like find a couple good locations. We have a good idea of what we're going to do for some chunks, but we're not writing this thing down line by line. Like we don't know shot for shot what we're doing here. We just sort of have an idea of what we're going to walk into. And I think if you think about how the shoot days went, we changed a lot of things on the fly. Like we were like, oh, you know what? We're not even going to do this scene. We're not even going to shoot
Yeah.
over here. We like this way more now that we're here. Even when I went to check out the gallery the first time, it was empty. There was nothing in there. And then when we went and shot, it was full of stuff, and it was so cool. And we changed our plan entirely based on
Yeah.
what things looked like. So
That's funny because I remember you sending me information about the shoot, and I saw that the Obozo Gallery. I guess it was on Google. The pictures were just blank walls, and I was like, okay, I don't. Is this just going to be like an empty space? Like, what are we doing here? And you were like, yeah, I don't know what they're going to have hanging up. It'll be cool to see. And I mean, it worked out. It was amazing. I really love the split between the pop art and then the sort of more classic art. And I thought that was really cool. And then the red streak that you guys came up with. Uh, Britt, how did that? Yeah, so working on the fly, I feel like Dom has his job setting up the shots. How does it work for you as the director then coming up with what you're going to tell the actor me to do, or the rest of your job?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of like balls in your court because you're the performer. I can only like give so many prompts, but really because this is your music video and you're the performer, your style and your presence really is supposed to shine. So I kind of just let however that came out happen, and then when I did have uh ideas that popped up, we tried it here and there. But yeah, it was more so like, what angle are we looking at? What is he thinking for lighting wise? And are we going with performance, or are we doing something else in this space, and then kind of taking it from there?
Okay, interesting. Um, I guess, but I don't want to skip over the big thing. Then is the AI. So, um, Dom, you said that you hadn't really used it. I guess, yeah. How did you approach that? You didn't know. I guess you got all the shots first, and then you tried it out. Did you do any testing at all?
Yeah. To be honest, I did essentially no testing. I found so initially I found out about a platform called Runway a few months before we were pitching the concept, and I was just sort of playing around with it, and I just threw some video in because they have a video module. I threw some video in, and I was like, "Oh, cool! You can get something like dramatically different. Like you could make this video look like claymation, and it's wonky and weird, but it's really cool and interesting." It's like, well, there's definitely music video opportunities for this. Was like my first thought because commercially, like I
Yeah.
don't see this being viable right now, or at least what it was. But down the line, yeah, this is creatively very interesting. When it came down to the actual post, and I was running these things through, I discovered that while Runway, in my experience, is very good at what we're just going to call it like dreaming or like taking an image and a video and making it something different within sort of the bounds of the set style. It's very good at that. It's where it lacks is making that video flow in the way an animation would. And so I don't want to
Interesting.
knock on like I don't think that this is a replacement for a skilled animator in any way because I think an animator will always make something that's going to look better. But what I ended up doing actually by the end of the video, I wasn't even using Runway at all anymore. I was using a Python based AI called Animate Diff, which actually can run locally
Oh,
for
cool.
free on any computer as long as it has enough VRAM in its system. Um, and it takes longer, it takes way longer, and it's not nearly as like creative as a Runway in the sense of how it adapts a style, but it's way better at starting with a style and then like changing it in a way that feels like it's an animation. So by
Oh, really interesting.
like the end product that we have now that we're releasing, most of the AI sections were done with Animate Diff. So yeah, so there was a lot of experimentation. By no means am I an expert. I have still honestly very little idea of what I'm doing on that thing, but it was very fun to experiment and like it's really cool to be like I have a thing and I'd like to make it another thing and seeing like what works and like how well it works. And I think ultimately we lucked out because the idea of making the video look more like drawn art or classical paintings or pop art or any kind of visual art, AI does really well with that. I've done tests since on other videos where I've tried to make it look like a video into a different, more hyper photorealistic video, and I find it struggles way
Hmm.
more at like just making that into something else. So Yeah, it was just sort of like a bit of a lucky fluke there that worked out so well. But yeah, I mean, the options are endless, and I haven't done nearly enough digging into what's possible. But it was a very, very fun experiment in what we can do now with the tools that are now available to us for free too, which is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And I guess is it just prompting like any large language model? You're just trying out different things, telling it, "Hey, try this," and you have to wait for it to render, or is there some other magic that you have to
Yeah,
do?
that's more or less what it is. Like basically, you take your input video, you split it into an image sequence, then you load that image sequence into the thing. You load a model specifically into a thing. So I tried a few different models that are trained for different things into that, and then that runs into a whole bunch of nodes that I do not understand. But one of those other nodes is the actual prompt where I say, okay, please make him look like, he's a Van Gogh painting. And then there are also other prompts for how it will change over time, which was a big thing for me because I want the thing to look like it's animated. And honestly, I was just
Yeah.
on a lot of the time just throwing in random words like explosion or like just to like get something bigger to make it look like it would change more. Um, and then there's other settings in terms of like how it's interpreting the video, like how it pulls like the lines from it, and then how it compresses it back into another input image sequence, and then I would pull that into After Effects, scale it up because frankly, um, doing it at any resolution above 1080p would be like pretty much impossible, and
Oh,
uh,
interesting.
then do some very minor tweaks in some cases in After Effects and then render it out. But we also had the advantage of like the
Okay.
concept we were pitching was it's going to be a mix of AI and live action video. Like very rarely, in fact, the idea was never to have AI be on screen full screen. We ended up that way because there were some parts where I was like, oh, this looks really phenomenal. Like can actually let it live like that. But the idea was it's going to be a video within a video. Like the AI portion is part of the bigger picture. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I thought it's nice because you usually expect just one or the other, right? Um, and especially when it does take up the full screen more towards the end, it's really impactful. Um, yeah, yeah, it was really well done. I mean, phenomenal job. So I guess one other question about it, um, sort of day of or the 2 days, were there any like major hurdles that you came across that you maybe had to deal between you two that I didn't even know about, or were there like any major complications? And it's maybe your job to deal with it on your own. I'm just curious. Stuff like that I think is always interesting to hear about later.
I don't think so. It was fairly smooth. I mean, there's always the issue of traffic in Toronto, which is out of
Okay.
everyone's control. So, having like the four locations on that one day or whatever it was a bit of a challenge because of traffic, but otherwise, like, I think it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, that's how it felt to me. I think there was like one time where I noticed a little bit of tension, but like you guys handled it so calmly. I was just like, oh, something's going on. And then, but I feel like that's natural, right? We did like 4 intense days. I'd be surprised if there was nothing.
Yeah, Dom and I, we have our moments, and then we just keep going. I don't even think we notice it anymore.
I was really impressed. Yeah, you guys were just like, it was this little disagreement. You dealt with it, and then it was like back to normal. It was, yeah, I was really impressed. I don't know if I'm not that way really. I like to brood.
I think we do a good job at like if there's a creative difference, we're real. I don't know. You're really good, Dom, at like let's hear each other out and let's figure out what makes sense for like the either the overall creative or concept or sometimes you have those ideas that you're like no I want it this way and sometimes I do and then you know we pick our battles pretty much. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
remember what day it was, but because I think that's just how we operate together. It just happens probably more than we think it does.
Yeah, it's such a flurry of events, Yeah, I don't remember the day either.
I think that really the biggest challenge we had with this, and it wasn't really, to be honest, the True Gold portion of this whole thing went like very, very, very smoothly. But what I think we haven't really discussed is we weren't just shooting True Gold. We were actually shooting many videos over the set of 4 days.
That's right.
So the biggest challenge actually just came from the amount we were trying to accomplish. It was a little ambitious, and we knew that going into it. And I'm happy with what we got out of it. I think we did what we came there to do. But I think if we were to do it again, Britt and I would change a little bit about how much we put on the table in terms of like, we're going to do this day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, because they were 4 very intense days with a lot of location moves. Like, we have never done a shoot with this many location moves. I'm not joking, before or since. Your project is like a record holder in like the number of locations we did in a day, because we were just like, we were shooting this for like an hour, we're going to the next place, it's halfway across the city, you know, and then we're going to go to another place, it's like at the other end of the city.
Yeah, that's right. Do you remember how many locations it was?
I think it might have been.
I think at least 10 or 12.
I was going to say between 10 and 12 as well. Like, it was quite a few.
Yeah, so for anyone who's going to listen to this, we were shooting 4 sizzle reels, which were they were shorter snippets for 4 other songs. And then we shot 2 full-length music videos. One is for obviously True Gold, and then one is for The Comet, which will be coming out later this year. So that was, yeah, it was really intense. You guys really planned it out well, though. And it seemed like there was enough cushion each time we had to move. I was like, oh, we're doing fine with time, except for maybe once, but like, I could be misremembering. Overall, it just seemed like it was all going smoothly because of the amount of cushion you planned in. Yeah, I think there was the one like location change that we had to make on the fly was the beach, right? Because it was too crowded.
Yeah, we had to call that one off, and it was something we went into knowing we could call it off.
Yeah, how dare people go out and enjoy the fucking beach when we're trying to shoot a music video? You know?
That's right. These dang Canadians trying to enjoy warmth while they have it.
Yeah. Who the hell put all these people here on this beach?
Actually, so I don't remember if that location was originally scheduled or it was always going to be a backup, but the one with the field of the wildflowers with the industrial shot in the background with the factory and the chimneys, I thought that was a beautiful shot. I just thought it was just the juxtaposition. There's water between them. It's just I thought that's a really great spot.
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, I don't know if we planned that.
I think it was a happy accident.
I think it was just like, we need a different location.
And kudos to Britt for coming up with the top-down shot, because I would have not thought about that. And she was like, but what if we could do overhead, which was kind of a bananas idea.
Given that we had 0 gear to accomplish that, it was like Dom sketchy on a ladder, like holding the camera. I don't know. I do that a lot. I'll throw out some weird ideas and he's like, we don't have the things to do this, but sure, okay, we'll try to make it work.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I don't know what those long metal arms are called, but what we like lodge them into the ladder, right? The ladder legs or something.
Yeah, no, it was.
How did we set that up?
It was a couple 2K stands and some pieces of pipe. Like, it was basically just a bunch of metal things clamped to each other.
It would end up on shittyrigs.com. Shitty Rigs Instagram. That's what it is.
Oh, I didn't even know that's a thing, but I love that it is. Okay, so yeah, we're just over the half-hour mark. I think probably good to close this out. You guys want to talk about upcoming projects you have or collaborations that you're working on?
There's one more thing I do want to talk about this video that is a very, very big part of it for me. And even more so than the AI, the part I am happiest about is the body paint stuff that we got.
Yes, okay. Yes, we haven't talked about the body paint.
Shout out to Anna.
Big
Anna
thank you.
did such a fantastic job on the body paint. Like, we had this idea, and again, working with artists is so wonderful because it truly is a collaboration. Like, we didn't have anything visually specific in mind for the paintings. We kind of leaned on her to make those decisions, like what's achievable, what's going to look good on camera in her opinion. And she knocked it out of the park. It looked so cool. Like you look like two completely different people in
Yeah.
those different paintings. Yeah. Shout
Yeah,
out to
totally
Anna.
agree. Yeah, that was really special. That was really unique, different. I love that you guys came up with that. What were your, I guess if you guys have time, we can talk about this for a little bit. What were your thoughts of that? Like the two sides of me, essentially. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
Um, what were you guys
I'd
thinking?
love to touch on it for a little bit because basically what happened was we had the idea of body paint and we called up Anna. She was a referral from another friend of ours, and she's sort of an established special effects makeup artist in the GTA. She works on Shorzy, she works on horror movies, she does like all sorts of stuff, and she happened to be free around the time period. But she was so lovely to work with because, like, from the very first call
Yeah,
I had with her, she was like, she understood where our heads were at, and not only did she do your body paint, but she painted the canvases behind you as well. And that's such a huge part of it
that's right.
because she was like, well, if I'm going to make him match a painting, I might as well just make the painting because then I know that he'll match. So that was super cool. So, Elias, I think you had come up with these are the general color themes and tones I want to have on the canvases, but
Mm-hmm.
Anna had full creative reign on what came out. And I really, really loved what she did. Like the contrast between the two is so dramatic, but the detail, the level of detail that you can see on your face, even on some of the shots where it's on the side and stuff, I think is so incredible. Like she did such a wonderful job.
Yeah, the little like, especially the white and the black. There's the accents of the gold, and then I guess more the earth colors. I want to say some blue in there, some teal almost. Yeah. Um, it was cool. That was a really cool experience, and yeah, I really enjoyed that part of the shoot because I it was all in the face, right? And Britt, do you remember any of the notes you gave me? Because like I was supposed to be like creepy, eerie at times, like
No, I think we just did a range of emotions, and it was more like your mouth moving and than anything else, I think, because you blended so much kind of into the background. Um,
yeah,
I'd love to also jump into the comet because we worked with Ali for the tarot cards, which I was most excited about.
yeah,
So the comet, I think you came in with some ideas. I asked you like generally what the song was kind of about, and we kind of landed on more of like a storytelling approach to the music video, which was fun, and about bad luck. And I was
yeah.
just kind of
Okay,
like,
right.
how far can we push, this idea, and what visually can we put into it that represents different types of luck or you know whatever. And then I knew from the get-go, like if we were going to do tarot cards, I wanted Ali to be the one to design them because she is such an incredible illustrator. um
I've got them
Exceeded my
here.
expectations. They turned out so cool. I was like, we need to make a full deck of these because they look
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, you have them with you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I was definitely going to keep these. Yeah, so if you guys have time, I would talk about the comment. I thought maybe we'd do that closer to when it comes out, but if you guys just want to talk about it now, that's good for me.
I mean, yeah, other than that, like I was super happy with how the whole shoot went. Um, like Dom was saying earlier, it's fun to kind of experiment with some ideas or concepts in your head. And sometimes you're like, oh, this looks better than I was expecting. And sometimes you're like, oh, you know what? I don't know if maybe this contextually is going to land as well as I thought it would. And it's just all part of that, like, learning and experimenting process.
Mm-hmm.
But everything we did for that I thought was so much fun. And working with Steph's brother
Oh,
is
Delph's brother, Luca?
Dilf. Sorry, I don't know why I said Steph. Dilf's brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was so much fun to work with. Like a great actor, truly.
Yeah, I was really impressed how quickly he can just like make with really subtle movements make his face just fit the scene, like fit what's going on. Um, from like I mean, because he's just got this boyish look to him, and every scene it was like something is going wrong, and he just always has like I don't know. It was just
Yeah,
really impressive. The
he
little
he
quirks.
he really translated like the I guess the emotion behind experiencing all this bad luck, and then the visuals came in with more of like the quirky comedic tone. I don't know. The blend of everything felt really fun, and that's what we kind of wanted from that video, was something a little bit more um, jokey, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how did you? Do you guys remember how you came up with the concept of bad luck? I don't know if that was my idea or yours. And then, yeah, do you just want to talk about that process, how you went from there to the different shots and all that?
I don't even know, honestly. I think maybe
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't know.
it was because of the lyrics or something that was said in a previous meeting.
Yeah,
Um, it's always hard too, I think, sometimes with music videos, because of how long the song is, that you've got to fill that time with something. So
right.
we just, I think we're like, let's put as many different ideas, what locations, I guess, and that we can into this.
Yeah.
I don't know if
The
if you want to jump in with anything else.
No, I mean the comet is really like that was Britt's brainchild, and from what I
yeah.
remember, it was her idea about the whole concept of bad luck. I have no idea where that came from, uh,
I don't know either, honestly.
but that was
Sorry.
I
yeah.
mean,
I
yeah.
wish I had a
When I
better
initially,
answer.
yeah, I had a
No.
very different idea when we started, and but we all really liked Brits, and that's sort of what it settled on. So really, like all the creative decisions were sort of like in her ballpark for that video. She had a very specific technical vision. She wanted it to be 4:3. She had a look in mind before we started it. Um, but yeah, no, I'm also very pleased with how that is coming together. At the time of recording, it's not completely final, but I think we're getting very close. So yeah, no, I'm very excited to see that out there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the initial edit you guys sent me is already really great. Uh, so, yeah, I'm really excited for that one too. um, that one was cool because there's different kinds of bad luck symbols that I'd never heard of, like the horseshoe going upside down. That's one I'd never heard of.
Yeah, I think
Um,
we kind of researched, well, I did anyway, online, like different types of luck, and there's so many weird ones, or also not just luck, like superstition, I guess.
yeah.
Um, yeah, there was a lot. There was one that obviously we didn't put in the video, but it was like never pass a baby through a window, and I'm like, why would anybody do that anyway?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so just for future knowledge, don't pass a baby through a window.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
I'd planned that this week. That's my weekend plans. um, yeah. So, okay. Yes. Do you remember? Okay. So the bad luck idea that kind of made sense. Where did the other ideas come from? Because True Gold, I think, there's more of a, there you could see why we'd go to an art gallery. There was the performance piece, which is a big part. Um, but for I guess there was more of a narrative that you're trying to come up with, right? In the comic, do you want to talk about that process? How you go from like, oh, we're gonna do bad luck, we're gonna do bad luck symbols, to like he's gonna sacrifice a chicken, all the
uh
different things.
that was just Dom and I bouncing back and forth, probably when we're really high. I don't know. Like, I honestly wish I
I love
had
that.
better answers for
No,
you.
that's a great
But
answer.
sometimes you just gotta sit down and be like, how ridiculous or how far can we push this, and how visually are we gonna make it make sense, I guess. The nice thing about music videos too is it doesn't always have to totally 100% make sense. Like, it can just
Yeah,
be visually interesting, which is the fun part about it. Yeah, I think we were just kind of bouncing back and forth, and like it snowballed, and we kind of just landed on these things as we were developing the story.
yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. I guess. Yeah, that one's full of really like rich little details that I'm excited. I'm excited to release that one. Um, Anything else you want to add about that one? We had Zara there too. Shout out to her coming all the way from Ottawa for
Yes.
the shoot.
Zara, so initially when we were like, oh, we should include like a tarot reader with these tarot cards, um, I think I reached out to Zara for costume ideas because you should see her closets. And like
Yeah, I believe it.
she's got a room that's basically a closet. She has so many cool outfits, and um I really wanted like to see if she had anything that was cool. And then she offered, she's like, should I be in this? I was like, 100% yes, you have to be our tarot reader. It's going to be so much fun to not only work with you like from a costume aspect, but like as an actor too.
She was really great.
Yeah, she was so funny.
I remember was she there when we showed up? I just like the first real memory I have is that she's putting on these massive fake nails with this really strong toxic smelling glue and
Yeah.
yeah, just a funny character. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And all the stuff she had for the costume like looked
Oh
incredible.
my God.
It was so much fun.
I wonder if she actually had to buy anything or if she already had all that stuff.
I think she just bought the nails.
She just
I don't
bought the
know.
nails.
We'll let her confirm. I wouldn't be surprised if she had all that stuff.
Me neither, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, so the comment, just letting people know, True Gold, if you're hearing this before this coming Friday, it comes out Friday the 19th, and then sorry, that was True Gold. The Comet will be out late spring, early summer. I've already released some of the other singles with their sizzle reels. There's some other sizzle reels coming that you guys worked on. Maybe we just talk about those a little bit too, briefly. So there were four. There was Honey that I don't remember the order we did, but I released Honey first. And then we did Fallen for Love, Unsetting Sun, and Blackbird. What was your thought process about coming up with those? Those are a lot simpler, right? It's just like one dead-on shot for the most
Yeah,
part.
actually, the main driver of the thought process in that case was logistics. Um, we wanted all of them to be shot in studio so that we could do them all in the space of one day. We wouldn't have to do a lot of running around, and then we could spend time, making sure the lighting and everything would look good. Because you're only releasing these snippets of the songs. It's not full videos. It's a bit different. So there's got to be this good mix of like moving fast, but also looking good. So that's kind of where the genesis came. So we were just I remember listening to songs and just like pulling major themes. And you had also provided some of those themes for us, like Unsetting Sun, for example. Like you gave us most of those visuals. Even Honey, I think you gave us most of those visuals. We just sort of like gave you the platform of like, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it in the studio. Do you have thoughts in mind?
I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that too. That was like the first day well, not the first day. It was the last day of our shoot, but it was just like I was just performing the whole day. And that was fun. Like you really like get into it. It's one of those things where I'm not an actor and I've never performed in a music video. So I could really feel as the days were going on that I was getting better. And the night before that, actually, because that day, the last day, we shot the performance video in that studio for True Gold in the sort of black space. And Delph the night before was coaching me on how to act. She had me do in this little Airbnb room. She was having me do all these little acting things, and it was really cute. And like I really felt like I came out of my shell on that last day. Like I was just very present the whole time. I feel like I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, and yeah, that day, really, I don't know, it stands out in a way to me.
Yeah, big shout out to Delph. She was like the Luca's makeup artist. She was basically Brit's assistant director. She did a lot of things on set that I think we maybe didn't give her enough credit for.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. And she was, I don't know, just my emotional support too. Like, I'm sure, you guys work with artists, so there's a lot of ups and downs, and I'm a little baby on the inside, so she's there to support me when I'm down. Um, yeah, so anything that you guys are working on now that you want to talk about a bit? Just briefly plug. Anything you're really excited about, Britt? You said you just worked on something. I don't know if you want to talk about that or your own projects, maybe. Up to you guys. Floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, we are actually going to Arizona at the end of the month for my short film that's circulating in festivals right now. So that's really
Yes.
exciting. We're going to the Chandler, Arizona Film Festival at the end of January. Sprinkle Brownies is the short film.
Congratulations. So it's
Thank
it's
you.
it's finished. I didn't
Yeah,
even
it's
realize.
finished. Yeah, it's finished. It's submitted to some festivals. We'll see. This is like the first one we're going to in person, so very excited about that.
That's really exciting. Is that public yet? Will we be able to see that somewhere? Or I
Not
don't know how
unless
that
you get
works.
tickets at the festivals, because festivals, and I think this is something people like a lot of people don't know. So when you submit to festivals, most of the time it cannot be publicly viewed, because why would they
Oh,
want to
okay.
play your movie to get people to go watch the films, at their festival if they can already see it online somewhere else, right?
Good
So
point.
I don't think it'll be publicly released for at least another year. Um, but that being said, when it is submitted in festivals, they usually do have an online option, or you can go in person to just buy a single day ticket. I don't think anyone else that I know is going to go to Arizona to watch that. But if there's any Canadian festivals that it gets into, I will definitely post that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really exciting. Congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super stoked. So, so, so excited to go. And
That is
my
really exciting.
cinematographer, Santiago, and his girlfriend, who was like basically my AD and prop master, set designer. She did so, so much on set. They are both going with us as well. So it's going to be a nice little crew hang in Arizona.
Oh, that's fun. It's a good time of year to go there.
I
Get
hope
out
so.
of the cold.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I want. Dom, take it away.
Uh, yeah, I mean, the Sprinkle Brownies right now, I think, is like the biggest thing for us in terms of like this is now the time to be promoting it. So it's very exciting. It's my first like going somewhere to go to a film festival. Like I've been to film festivals, but not like for the purpose of supporting a film like this. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and sorry, people don't know, but Dom is the producer on the film as well. So he's not just coming as arm candy,
No,
okay?
yeah.
He's coming as big industry producer man.
He was functional. Yeah, okay.
Uh, yeah, but aside from that, we have a small side project that we're trying to build a little bit of steam up on right now and over the course of the year that we started last year with several partners in the Ottawa area, actually called Public Servants. So we're trying to get a whole sketch
Oh,
comedy
cool.
project off the ground. We are currently releasing skits from that on social media just to gauge general public interest. So if you're a fan of I Think You Should Leave, you may want to check it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's us at the moment.
I'll if that's public, I can drop the link in the description for this interview
Yeah, we have
when I
we
post
have
it.
socials. Um,
Yeah,
the social content is just so all over the place, but it's been really fun.
yeah, you got to start somewhere, and if there's anything I've learned about creating content like a maniac is you got to just try. You got to be all over the place and see what sticks. So it can be a bit it can be overwhelming, but in the end it's worth it. And yeah, and eventually you land on something that people really like and connects with them. So that's cool. It's really exciting. I love the idea of a show about public servants. Um, yeah, so like I said, True Gold is coming out this Friday, January 19th. The Comet will be out late spring, early summer. It's definitely a warm weather song in my mind, so I was waiting to release that one. And the sizzle reels will be in between the two that are left. And yeah, keep a lookout for those. Keep a lookout for well, I don't know when your short film will be out. Maybe hopefully within the next year. I don't know how that works at
Yeah,
all.
probably. Yeah,
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
And then yeah, I'll post a link to the what is it called? The civil servants
Public servants.
this
For now,
public
you can
servants.
link a YouTube, you can link socials. But yeah, that's the name of it.
Okay.
It's called Public Servants.
Public servants. Okay, great. All right, everybody, have a good one.
Thanks
And
for having us.
yeah, thanks for joining. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. It's always good hanging out with you guys.
Excited to see the video come out. I haven't watched it in months, I'll be honest. So it'll be a surprise to me for just as everyone else.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just so happy. Like it just felt like all the things that I wanted in my head for the song and the video just really came to fruition. And I have you guys to thank for that. So
Amazing.
thank you.
Well, excited to see it.